This is the way.
We don't have much time. We must destroy the...
I look forward to working with you, Lord Vader.
God damn!
The Mandalorian Season 3, just like its previous 2 seasons, is the touching adventure of our helmeted hero traveling the galaxy with his green baby mascot that can't ever fully close its eyes. With how tired I am right now and my eyes being so freaking dry, like sandpaper and an oven-baked fossil of an elderly woman's nethers, it made my eyelids clench every time I saw Grogu suffering and unable to use the Force to shut his
fucking eyes.
Kid looks like how I feel. They had to add the sound effect to distract us from the fact that it looks like it's made of plastic.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Is it though? Is it really? I'm just saying, like, if I was in a cult, I would start asking a copious amount of healthy, much warranted questions. Seeing as how the Mandalorians seem to always get stir-fried by karma or whatever it is whenever they're united. Also, is Din Djarin just another class of Mando altogether? Because it doesn't matter who's in trouble, anytime he makes an appearance, he quickly settles the score. I mean, I guess it helps that he has a ship, but do none of these other Mandalorians have ships? I also enjoyed how the entirety of the segment seemed like a boss fight from a video game. The way the monster ran up on the shore faster than the crime rate in New York City. Funny how the more Mandalorians you have in one spot is the more useless they seem to be. And they're so useless that I'm convinced that this mobile game boss scene was simply introduced to not only hook us into the episode, but also to showcase how beautiful the monster is. Because it's so fascinating seeing a crocodile mosasaurus looking creature with a turtle shell that can also do a death roll when convenient. Still gotta give it to them. CGI, practical effects look way better than most of the stuff that Disney's putting out in modern era.
Anderson. I said Axel.
Astrid.
Axel!
Does Disney even use practical effects anymore in their main movies?
A single rain.
At this point, there is more trash on screen than there is in the ocean.
You have removed your helmet. You are no longer Mandalorian.
The Creed teaches us of redemption. But what if the mines of Mandalore still exist?
All was destroyed.
Wait, didn't we go through this already? Okay, maybe I'm forgetting this, but I almost feel as though they had this conversation prior and they just retconned it and did it a different way. Am I freaking crazy? Hold on.
Din Djarin, have you ever removed your helmet?
Answer her question, bitch!
I have.
Then you are a Mandalorian no more.
Well, that sucks.
Ah, yes. The Book of Boba Fett. The story of another Mandalorian that apparently wasn't important enough to the point where 3 episodes had to be dedicated to the characters of the main Mandalorian show to keep people interested in watching his show. It was in that show that we get what happened after the cliffhanger of Mandalorian Season 2, what everybody was waiting to see. And you didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett, and you just returned to the Season 3 Episode 1 of Mandalorian, you'll find yourself thinking, the dingo donkey dick is going on. The only explanation you get here, though, is...
But you're still running around here with the same little critter.
It's complicated.
Really, bitch? Really?
Mando had to prove he still deserved to wield the dark saber thingy and bested the other Mando past Vizsla in battle, which is where we get the whole conversation about him having removed his helmet.
Din Djarin, have you ever removed your helmet? Have you ever removed your...
Yes, Din Django has removed his helmet because there's an eerie silence. I mean, I would think his silence is proof enough that he's removed it. But anyway, somehow he gets to keep the saber.
How can I atone?
According to Creed, one may only be redeemed in the living waters beneath the mines of Mandalore.
But the mines have all been destroyed.
This is the way.
And see? So how is it that in season 3 of the actual Mandalorian show, we're getting this conversation again, as though this is the first time they're having it? And mind you, she's pressing him right after he saves their entire conclave. The hell? The ungratefulness. That's a major shift in storyline events, isn't it? Some people might argue that maybe they wanted to do a reshoot or make rewrites, But even if that's the case and that's your argument, and they were just sweeping the events of the Book of Boba Fett under the rug, maybe because they're ashamed of that show, it still isn't explained how Mando acquired his new ship, or how he managed to keep Grogu with him. I mean, couldn't they have released a special before the start of season 3 with those 3 episodes of The Mandalorian to help fill in those gaps, which is what they intended, which is why we got that cliffhanger in the first place? This is what happens when they spend so much time weaving their basket of webs in an attempt to get people to fall in. After doing it so much, people start to recognize the baskets are webby, or they just stay away from them altogether, and that they're being goaded into watching something that is so far removed from what the lore of that franchise is supposed to be. This whole episode and the events that occur thereafter are so meaningful, especially when Mando's on the plane and the aircraft and the kid is staring at him, which reminds him of Grogu, who isn't with him this entire time, so you're feeling the emptiness that he's feeling. He then visits the mechanic, and she mentions how much she misses little guy.
Where's your unlikely companion?
I returned him to his own kind.
Why the hell would you do that? I could have made good money off that thing. Open a petting zoo.
And you can tell that Din Djarin, is missing Grogu. Like, you can feel it. We get the entire process of him also getting the replacement for his ship, and him fixing up his new starfighter, which is the ship he came in on, which was a really big dramatic reveal for a reason. Like, people are probably like, okay, where the hell? This is a dramatic reveal of this ship. That's not Mando's. Oh, Mando's in there. Where did he get that ship from? What is happening? But in the Boba Fett episodes, he's building up the starfighter with this mechanic, with our beautiful mechanic friend, which is so heartfelt because now the ship has more value due to the investment he put into it. It's like working on a vehicle yourself rather than just buying one. We also get to see how he really starts to warm up to droids now. In all this, you completely forget that this is a part of the Book of Boba Fett. Like, when I watched it, I didn't even remember that, oh, this is Boba Fett's show. Oh, yeah. Oh. Now, after we see that, why would we want to go back and watch Boba Fett? Like, Mando just completely freaking magic mic'd that dude in his own freaking show. Boba Fett is sidelined in his own show. So we can get the Mandalorian Season 2.5, the after shots. At the end of the episode, Mando then mentions how he's going to pay a visit to Grogu, who is learning how to be a Jedi, and who in the end chooses to stay with Mando. We also get the whole thing with Luke and Grogu. We're just going to ignore all that, right?
I'm confused. I thought you had completed your mission, but you're still running around here with the same little critter.
I completed my quest. He returned to me.
Seriously, why did they start the season like this? Everything that happened before just loses its meaning and enchantment. Specifically in the freaking Boba Fett show, which is half Mandalorian, whatever. Grogu being with him during this conversation of redemption in the actual Mandalorian show now, it just seems to be so Russian out of place. It feels dumb. Oh, but
nobody would watch The Mandalorian if it didn't have Grogu in it.
Yes, they would have. If you gave the audience the very important character growth and details you did for some other character show you didn't actually care about. We get some exposition via Mando telling Grogu what they want us to know, which it's kind of cool. I do like that. Because every time you go to a new place, you're interested to know more about the world, the creatures, the people. And I don't know, I just got this really nostalgic feeling. Like, just watching the episode, it made me want to play Mass Effect again, or actually finish it. Also, I don't know if it's just me, but watching The Mandalorian feels like I'm watching a playthrough of a video game. Everything down from the establishing shots of the world and the point of views to the dialogue, it just feels like cutscenes from a video game. Even the action sequences play out like a video game, as we saw with the big crocodile boss just standing in one spot while everyone went ham on DPS. Mando then meets up again with the magistrate guy with the sparkly eyes, and that's when we get the explanation as to what happened between the events of the last season with that cliffhanger and now.
I removed my helmet, and now I'm an apostate.
Yep, that's it, folks. That's it. That's all we need to know. Yeah, and then they just move on. Nothing more to see here. That big epic ending of seeing Luke Skywalker coming to retrieve Grogu and teaching him how to be a Jedi. Yup, that's it. No explanation there. All that really happens is we get a bunch of pirates stirring up trouble because, you know, there's got to be some action. Mando saying he can't stay because he's on a mission to, like, win back the hearts of people that are a part of a religion that doesn't really give two shits about him. Mando trying to fix up the robot that saved his life, and it trying to kill Grogu because it defaulted to its previous programming. All of this for the purpose of Mando getting an additional side quest to retrieve the circuit for said robot so that he can be brought back to life and remember who Mando is and have his intelligence back or whatnot. Why is he shaking so much?
Eu conto que mamãe é uma arrombada filha da puta! Bastards!
The pirates then chasing Mando and failing miserably, and Mando getting away from their boss, quite easily by the way, in a way that he could have used from the beginning, all for the purpose of us having a Star Wars battle that really didn't need to happen, but is always fun to watch because nostalgia. Mando entering another cutscene so he can get the information from Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica about where the mines are, and then him leaving, so stunning and brave. I'm not gonna lie, I love The Mandalorian, and I always enjoy watching these adventures. I love the characters, but I would be lying if I didn't see that this was a hot piece of shit in terms of the messiness of it. They messed up with that storyline succotash big time. Like, big payoffs and big reveals are always a thing that works in The Mandalorian, and for them to just have written off the fans who didn't see Boba Fett and give next to no explanation whatsoever was a ripe and squishy FU. You shoulda, coulda watched the other title kind of deal. It honestly felt like a last minute thing that they added that in the season 3 beginning. Is it something that makes or breaks the show? I guess time will tell. At the very least, the characters are still enjoyable, but does it kind of sort of ruin the immersion a little bit? Yeah, it does. Regardless if you watch Boba Fett or not, you're gonna find yourself scratching your head and wondering, just wondering. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.